We do need a theme song.
And it's oh.
Yes. So if you guys are musically inclined whatsoever, let's make a theme song. Instead, our theme song right now is Ted jumping in front of the camera.
Don't you just want to look at him spur all episode?
There we go. We're underway. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Waft, episode 6. I'm Dwight, and this is Ted. Emily may or may not be joining us tonight.
I'm here. Really? Can you please get down and stop rubbing your head?
He loves to rub his head on different things, so the hangers right now are really
babies. Come on.
hitting him
Come on.
in the right spot.
There I am.
So welcome. Episode 6. Let's do this thing. I already forgot the topic, so your turn.
I think we were going to talk about habits, because May 1st, Dwight and I decided to take on some very new, challenging habits for ourselves.
We're accountability buddies.
We are. And so we wanted to kind of talk about habits and how they're super important to have. Our animals are getting into trouble, and kind of why we are doing these habits. So I am in I'm going to keep going while he takes care of our children. I am in a phase during this quarantine and during this time of my life when we're opening a business where I'm trying to do a lot of personal development. I'm like diving in every day to a lot of personal development. Shout out Rachel Hollis for helping that.
We're still coming for you guys.
We're still coming for you guys.
Just letting you know.
Every episode. Shout out Rachel Hollis. And so in one of the activities I was doing, it asked you...
She has this book you can't see right now, but...
I take notes. I'm like so involved in this because I swear it's changing my life and changing my perspective. So anyway, it asks you to think about the 5 or like even 3. I think I chose 4.
There's no number.
There's no number, but think back on the past 5 years and think about your most painful moments over the past 5 years. So that was the first step. So I did that and I wrote down, and one of them, like for an example, one of them was a relationship I was in. One of them was with my boss who was emotionally abusive. And then one of them was...
Just like she's being abusive to Franklin right now.
I'm not abusing him. He's just all in my clothes and I don't want it to smell like Frank. And then the other one was a situation with a family member. And so it was like, think of the most painful experiences that you've had in the past 5 years. And then once you write those down, can you think about a common theme or reason why they were so painful? And when they asked me to do this, I thought about it. And I was like, yes, the theme was that I wasn't showing up as my best self. Meaning if like thinking about the Emily that I know I can be and the Emily I know I should be, if she had showed up to these situations, they would not have been painful. Like, I knew in the time of this relationship that I needed to end it, but I let it go on for 6 more months because I was being the timid Emily who thought that it would get better.
She's just waiting for me.
I was waiting for him. Same with this like old boss. If I had showed up as like the Emily that I should be in life, that situation would not have happened because I would have told her to like F off.
There you go.
And I would have quit. We all would have quit this emotionally abusive environment if we were showing up as our best selves. And then same with the family member. Like if I had showed up and gotten out of the situation rather than living in it, it wouldn't have affected me in the same way. And so the root of mine was like, I know the person I should be. I'm just not showing up as that person. And that's why these events were painful to me. So then I asked Dwight to do the same thing.
Yes. And I think you really have to take a moment. You can't just do it in the spur of the moment. Listing those things. And for me, I used to be a pro wrestler and I tore both my labrums in the span of like 2 years, had shoulder surgery, and it sucked because I was backstage with WWE and there could have been a career there and it set me back. So that was a kick in the beanbags. And then I had a couple relationships, one that I was cheated on, and then for some dumbass reason, I stayed in that relationship. Stupid. I don't know if this is sound advice or not, but if you get cheated on, just there's a million other fish out there. Just, yeah. Anyway, not here nor there. And then the other one was the unsalted pretzel without cheese situation that Emily and I discussed a couple weeks ago, where I knew I was going to hurt somebody, but... going through all of that, I always think that something was always holding me back. Like with pro wrestling, I had 2 other relationships that held me back from going 100% all in on pro wrestling. And if I would have done that, I'm probably not in Franklin's bedroom right now recording a podcast. Who knows where I'm at? And same thing with those relationships. If I would have just ended it right after getting cheated on, or the other one just feeling what that 91% was instead of 100%, I could have been completely somewhere else. I don't regret any of it, just for the record. I don't live with many regrets because you don't know where your life would go. So everything kind of leads you up to a certain point. So no regrets, but my underlying theme to show up as my best self is, I guess, be pot committed and fully focused on one thing. And everyone's different. So don't think you fall into a certain mold. I think Frank is humping his blankets right now. So him to show up as him best self is just kind of go for it. Like, yeah.
So for you, it's obstacles and not jumping all the way into something. And it's funny because that's literally happening right now, where he's trying to manage his Stella job and Cycle Bar.
Shout out Stella. It's not a Stella in here. It's a margarita.
Because it's Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
But like Dwight is someone who wants to try and do everything and balance everything. And so the
multitasking is not my strong suit
and
either.
The things that have caused him pain was when he didn't like fully jump in with all of his effort. And so that'll be another episode of balancing what you're doing. But maybe it's a cue that like he needs to quit his Stella job and jump all into Cycle Bar, because that's something that's held him back in the past. So once you identify your things, your common theme of like, I don't always show up as the person I want to be, and that's holding me back. You then have to shift. Like Dwight always has an obstacle that prevents him from like going for it. You then have to ask yourself, okay, if I want to show up as my best self on a daily basis, what are the habits that I need to develop in order to allow me to show up as my best self? And so it's really finding that like, separating the disconnect of like the person you want to be and the person you are. What are the habits that can help you become that person? And that's where I loved this. It's if then statements. And it's so easy, and you can do it for everything. So like, if I want to be a good wife, then I need to do these things. If I want to be a good instructor, then I need to do these things. If I want to be a good business owner, then I need to do these things. And so I literally went down through every single one and put an if-then statement and wrote them all down. Like, if I want to feel confident in my skin, then I need to be doing these things. And so that was super helpful for me of what habits can you start to develop that help you become your best self, which led us to our May challenge. So my challenge was giving up candy because
it's going to get bad by the end of the month.
Hey, I'm on day 5 and I'm feeling pretty good about it.
She's doing good, guys. She's
doing good. I have like a candy issue. Like I eat a lot of candy. I don't know why. I think because it just makes like, it's addicting. Sugar is addicting. And so I started eating it, and then now it's just like all downhill and I have to have sugar. But I know that it doesn't serve me because it's mostly at night. I'll eat sugar, I'll eat candy, I'll feel terrible about myself. And then I go down the spiral of like feeling bad, feeling the need to restrict, feeling the need to work out more. And all of those habits aren't good habits for me. So that is my trigger, is like eating candy then puts me on this spiral. So what if I just cut out that habit? Yeah. And then see where it leaves me in a month. I'm already feeling better about myself and better energy wise. And I'm feeling stronger. Like, okay, this is something I never thought I could do, but I grabbed accountability partner and I'm proving myself that like, I can do this with support.
And that's a lot of things going through my head right now. Support's always there, whether you realize it or not. Sometimes it comes at the most random places, but don't think you're alone in any situation. And a lot of this ties into Cycle Bar, honestly. Like the 30 minutes on a bike right now, like think about the things that we just discussed right now. It helps you really like reflect and see what are those moments that have caused you trouble, caused you pain, what is the root cause, and what is potentially holding you back.
That's him
as
humping.
You have to
That's him humping his blanket.
Stop humping the...
This is the dog that I have to deal with.
Yeah, so Franklin,
totally
stop.
Humping his blanket.
We're trying to record a podcast and you're humping your blanket.
Behave.
No, stop.
Do it in privacy, Frank.
But yes, he is in privacy. He's in his bedroom, so
Yeah,
can't
we're
knock him on
technically
that.
intruding on him.
Yes. But with that, like, a lot of times during Cycle Bar, like in a class or whatever your workout is, your you time, you can reflect on these things and really hone in on what is the root of your biggest pain or pains over the years, and how can you adapt and move forward. So for me, like, I'm a perfectionist. I'm 99.9% of things go right. I'm focused on the 0.01% that's going wrong, and I want to correct that. So with my situations, I want to show up and be all in with Cycle Bar. So instead of being all over the place, I might have to step away from my Stella job and a really good paycheck. But in order for me to be fully happy, instead of 80% of my effort at Cycle Bar, I should put 100% there. So you have to have some tough conversations with yourself. But I think a lot of times we push those conversations to the back burner and don't take a good look in the mirror at ourselves to see what is holding us back, what has held us back, and what can help us move forward.
Yes. So like habits, like what are habits you need to start? What are habits you need to tweak? And what are habits you need to get rid of? I think I would challenge you to write down those 3 things. What are habits you need to develop? For me, I started this month with every single day I sit down. I wake up earlier than I'm supposed to. I sit down and I write down 5 things I'm grateful for. So I've started a gratitude practice.
Not people you're grateful
but
for.
Like things, like literally Mexican tacos will probably be on my list tomorrow. But starting my morning with gratitude has completely shifted my perspective. Move your body, drink water. Those are all of my habits. No candy. That's a tweak though. That the habits that I'm gaining are my gratitude practice, water, movement. There's a bunch of others, sleep, all of those things. Habits you need to tweak. For me, I'm tweaking my social media consumption. I unfollowed literally like 400 people that weren't serving me and what I need. And so I'm tweaking my social media consumption. And then habits I need to get rid of, candy. So what are those categories for you? What are habits that you should start doing? Super small, little things that you can do every day to help you show up as your best self. What are habits you need to tweak? Things that you're doing but maybe could be doing differently. And what are habits you need to get rid of?
And what she said, honestly.
That's what I got for you guys today.
She's been on fire with this, and I will say seeing her from the sideline, like see her do this every single day, there's definitely been a shift in her focus and her drive and where her energy is moving towards, and all in positive ways. Not saying anything was negative previously, but just saying all in positive manners. So these are challenges for you. Yeah. We're here to always try to provide entertainment, but also provide something that can help you in your everyday life. So hopefully we've done that. Hopefully you enjoy my hat. Hopefully you aren't scarred by Franklin humping a bed. But yeah, that's what we got. So comment below. Let us know, what else you want to hear us talk about. And
yeah, or let us know what habits you are trying to do, you need to tweak. What did you get from this?
We'll be your accountability buddy.
We'll be your accountability
Absolutely. And if you don't feel comfortable, here's another thing. If you don't feel comfortable putting it in the comments, but there's something that's truly
Why are you wet, babies?
Like there's something that's holding you back, or you feel like I have something and I want to share it with somebody, send it to us in a private message. We're here to help any way we can. So thank you guys so much. She's out of it. He's wet. He was probably in some water. So until next time, have a wonderful evening from the Franklin Podcast Studios. I'm Dwight. That's Ted. This is Emily too. Peace out, Cub Scouts.
Bye.